Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, I just wanted to say thank you for the virtual gift voucher I have received, but there was no name left in the box. So a big thank you to whoever you are for the support. I really do appreciate it. And just in case it wasn't intentional, guys, if you ever do wish to send me a voucher using the link, don't forget to drop your name in the box so I can say thank you. But if you prefer not to put a name, then no worries, I just say thank you like this anyway. Now, on to today. Today we are taking a look at the return of Fabius Bile and the grudge he has earned from the Deathguard. This is going to be interesting. The events we are discussing today are from the short story A Traitor's Trust by Dirk Wenner. Now this is a free short story on the Warhammer community website as part of the Psychic Awakening campaign. If you're new to the community website, I do recommend checking it out for news, and we are often treated to free great lore stories like this too. I'll put a link to the site in the description as always. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Now this story kicks off in the Scourge Stars, a small section of the Imperium that has been claimed by the forces of Nurgle, led by Mortarion and the Deathguard. And as you might expect for an empire of the Plague Father, it's become a pale, rotten comparison to the former imperial space that it was. Sick, diseased nebulas hang in the voids between the stars. There's a line that describes it perfectly. The very stuff of real space, sieved with the touch of Grandfather Nurgle. And I know we're just getting started here, but this is a piece of the Imperium, just to the north of Ultramar itself, a shining beacon of everything the Imperium can be. But here, chaos, Nurgle, has completely taken control, with the very space itself becoming infused with his touch. It's crazy to think about. I really hope we get to see more of the Scourge Stars in the lore. These bastions of Imperial space that have completely fallen under Chaos's control. The potential for stories is fantastic. But back to this story. Despite the dangers of navigating this empire, one fleet dares the challenge. Because this is no Imperial fleet. And aboard the flagship Wretch, Fabius Bile is smiling at his prize, something named the Ark Cornucontagious. It appears to be a simple chest, completely rotten and twisted, the mark of Nurgle evident on it. But it's insanely powerful. Nurgle has locked it within a stasis field, enhanced by 2 Chaos Sorcerers, and still pus forms within the field, something that should be completely impossible. The sorcerers, after performing the ritual, becoming mutated wrecks. Fabius has encountered the forces of Nurgle countless times within his lifetime, and never has he encountered anything as powerful as this, and he can't wait to claim its secrets. But it's never that easy. Fabius's smile vanished as the thought crossed his mind. The Ark Cornucontagious didn't belong to him, in the strictest sense. And the Deathguard weren't too happy about the way he had obtained it. The fools thought of it as holy, a gift from the Rainfather himself, and they had been adamant in their ambition to get it back. Since Bile and his forces had stolen it from them, the Deathguard had been doggedly pursuing his fleet, picking off ship after ship of the renegades. At last it seemed that Fabius's ragtag fleet had shaken off its pursuers. It had been days since they had seen one of the bloated Deathguard ships, but Fabius was sure they'd show up again soon. Without a sound, the blister on the Ark Cornucontagious popped, spraying pus through the stasis field. The disgusting droplets were immediately suspended in mid-air and hung there like revolting little stars. Intriguing, Fabius mumbled, leaning closer. As many of you might have expected, Fabius didn't exactly come to possess the artifact by honourable means, stealing it from the Deathguard. Now, 2 things with that. Firstly, I'm not sure stealing one of the most beloved artifacts of the Deathguard is something I'd want to do. It's bad enough having a chapter after you, but a legion? Let alone the Deathguard at that. They are going to be merciless in their hunt for Bile. And secondly, love him or hate him, you've got to admit Fabius Bile has balls of solid rock. I mean, he's even stolen the body of Horus Lupercal before. He doesn't care what it is and who owns it. If he wants it, he's going after it. As far away as he may be from being the son of Fulgrim that he once was, he's still got that Emperor's Children arrogance. But as Fabius admires his prize, alarms begin to blare out. The Deathguard have arrived. The story then cuts to the bridge of the Eagle Flenser, as Garkon Furif is yelling at his crew to get Bile on the Vox, bellowing orders left and right, before finally Bile's voice sounds smoothly over the Vox, enraging Furif further. "Are you aware that the Deathguard just emerged from the warp right at our heels?" he screamed. "We are doomed, and it's your damned fault." "Calm down, Lord Furif," Bile said softly, and thus provoked the opposite. "I did promise you command of a mighty fleet if you serve me well, no? And here you are, master of 10 vessels. I also promised that we would obtain the relic, and we did." "I don't care about your relic, Bile," Garkon shouted, while violently pushing away a lowly servant that begged for his attention. "All I want to know is, how will you get us out of here? I did not forfeit my chapter just to die out here on your foolish whims. I swear to you, if this is our end, I will personally tear you apart." Bile paused for a moment. "You have to trust me one last time," he said. "I promise that I will get out of this alive and well." Contented, Furif shoves aside the aid again, before realising exactly what Bile just said. "I will get out of this alive and well." The reports fly in that the wretch has engaged its engines and is heading straight for the Mandeville point. The Deathguard have engaged the rear of the fleet, already crippling and boarding a vessel. I told you, you don't mess with the Deathguard. These guys do not mess around. Furif, filling with an anger, orders the fleet to ignore the Deathguard and hightail it after Fabius. If they're going down, then by the dark gods they'll kill him first. A sudden lurch crashes the ship into darkness, the emergency lights flickering on. A catastrophic failure of the plasma engines, and reports of it happening all over the fleet. What are the chances? Amidst the pandemonium, the bridge vox crackled to life, and Bile's voice slivered forth one last time. His words became ever more distorted as the distance to the wretch grew, but his contempt was all too obvious. "To be completely honest, Lord Furif, I never trusted you, and neither should you have trusted me. Please send my regards to the Deathguard. I bid you farewell." And with that said, he doesn't have to wait long. The pounding guns of the Deathguard begin to thunder in. And in mere moments, the fleet is gone, obliterated by the overwhelming force of the Deathguard, as Fabius Bile silently makes his escape. Ah, Furif, swallowed in by the promises of power. Apparently a fleet of your own to command. A lesson in trust, a fool's gambit within the forces of chaos, I guess. But on the other hand, there are still some unique figures within the traitor legions that have complete obedience, such as the Primarchs, for example. Of course, Abaddon, and the commander of the Deathguard fleet, Typhus, who is raging at Bile's escape, not caring one iota about the forces he's just absolutely demolished. He wants one thing and one thing only: Typhus shifted under the weight of his Terminator armour, scowling at the tallyman as though he was personally responsible. "That is unfortunate," he snarled. "But there is good news as well," Flugog added quickly. "Our creatures, the demons, have scented the psychic trail of the Arc Corner Contagious. We don't know his plans, but we finally know where Bile is headed." "Tell me," Typhus demanded. "The wretch is on course to the Cadian Gate, my master." Typhus snorted. "Then we'll meet him there. And we'll have a conversation about the meaning of ownership." Oh snap, Typhus means business. I'm looking forward to this one. What on earth is Fabius up to at the ruins of the Cadian Gate? We might have to discuss that one in another video. But man, this one is going to be interesting. I've never really dived that much into Fabius Bile lore, other than the obvious cloning of Horus. But I have to say, if he comes across this well in all his novels, then I'm definitely going to have to dive into them. And what better time to do so than now? A great job portraying Fabius in this story, it really was. And of course the menacing Typhus at the end, setting us all up for the classic tune-in next week, the end of the series cliffhanger. But what do you guys think Fabius is going to be up to at the Cadian Gate? And do you think he's pushing his luck at betraying the Deathguard? Personally, I think they might possibly be at the top of my do not piss off traitor legions list. I mean, there's not many others that have carved out an empire in the Imperium yet. But then I guess the Alpha Legion never left. But that's it for today, guys. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love to read them. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support really means a lot to me. It truly does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.